And happy Wednesday. It's hump day, right? Midweek, and we're warming up a little bit just to get cold once again. And I mean Arctic cold. So we're going to give you the weather coming up in just a second. If you're new to the show, let me introduce myself. As you can see, I'm your host, Monica Adams, the show, The Real Monica Adams Show. We like to give you a little news you can use. We've got some really inspirational stories in the news. Went to the Blues game last night. How many of you were there? Went to the Billikens game? Nope. We will be, though. I cannot wait to see a Billikens game. So we were watching. We had bought some tickets at the Yuppie Puppies Gala, I believe it was, for the Blues against the Stars, and we sat in the Jameson Club. If any of you been in that, super super cool. So in between periods, we were going up into the club. They had this really cool buffet that was there, hanging with my brother and sister-in-law, and then we were watching on the screen the Billikens game. And at some point, my brother's like, "Yeah, not doing good. I don't think they're going to pull out a win." Did they? Well, we'll find out. Did you go to the Billikens game? Have you ever been? Let me ask you that one. Feel free to drop in any comments. If you don't know, we're very interactive on this show. So as I ask questions, feel free to answer those by typing into me. And I love to find out, again, who you are. So this is your show. We give you news you can use. We give you some sports. We'll talk about what's going on for the day, what's coming up over the next few days. And then our guest today, this is super cool. If you love rock music, heavy metal music, rock and roll, Richie Callison from St. Charles County. He moved out of the area, was in Los Angeles, and then he is now back. And we'll let you know where you can go and see him play. But he's got some super cool stories about Black Sabbath. And there is an artist in Black Sabbath, Geezer Butler, that handpicked Richie to be in his band. And we also have some stories about Ozzy Osbourne. This is going to be a really fun one. I love to bring in entertainment from time to time. So that's all coming up for you. We'll let you know what's coming up on Thursday and Friday this week, and an extra show tonight. We haven't had Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Actually, this is the first one of 2026. It's just been crazy with the weather, my mom falling, stuff going on with Chuck as well at Defiance Ridge Vineyard. So if you don't know, we have Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, and our sponsor is Defiance Ridge. If you have not been there, please go, and as I always mention, support those that support us. So Wet Your Whistle Wednesdays, again, we always say it could be with Chuck or an entire cast of characters. You never know who's going to show up on that show. Those are every other Wednesday. And then on the alternates, sometimes I get together with family and friends and we just kick back, maybe have a cocktail or a mocktail and just talk about life. It's really a fun show. So 2 shows typically on Wednesdays, and we'll get back to that routine for you. All right, settle in, grab your coffee or tea. If you're new to the show, tell me if you're a coffee or a tea drinker. I'm a tea drinker, so you got to fill in the blanks for the coffee drinkers. I'll go to your coffee houses, but I'll always have tea or a little hot chocolate. Had some of that last night. All right, do we need that? Let's find out. Here's the weather for you from our friends over at KMOV. First Alert 4 saying that the sun's going to be out today. I hope it melts some of that dang snow. 30 degrees, 10 degrees tonight for the low. Now, we could see some evening flurries tomorrow with a high only of 20 and the sun's barely coming out. We're down to 6 tomorrow night, but then look as we head into the weekend. Friday's high is only 15 with partly sunny skies down to -1. And again, that's the actual temperature. We're not talking about wind chill. It will be down to -1 Friday night into Saturday. That's why you're seeing the first alert day, frigid cold temperatures, 16 degrees on Saturday, down to 3 Saturday night. We welcome in February with a slight chance of afternoon snow, a high of 26. And then for next week, I mean, look at this. We're into February, which we always feel is one of the worst months here in St. Louis. Not the case. It was more so the end of January here. Now we're getting into the mid 30s as we go to Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday 36, Thursday 37, and Friday 42 with the sun coming out next Friday. I do want you to look though at Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll keep an eye on those days. There is a slight chance of evening snow on Tuesday and a 30% chance of a possible mix on Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on those. And when we have Beckett back with us on Friday, we'll let you know if that's still, of course, the case. All right, before we go into our news you can use, we talked about in the cold temperatures to be checking on the elderly. Bring those dogs inside. I specifically wore this today in honor of them. So in case you want to know what it says, it's dognity, right? The respect, the love, and the care that every dog deserves to be given, right? Don't we all agree with that? Dog lovers, shout out. Tell me if you agree with that. Dogs or cats, again, We love them all. I just happen to be a dog owner. All right. In the news you can use, the kiddos are returning to school. Tell me, though, how many of your kids are still home? Because in some of the rural areas, this may not be the case. Most across the St. Louis region, though, are heading back after the winter storm. We're talking about St. Louis Public Schools, Rockwood Parkway, Fort Zumwalt, Francis Howell, all set to return today after the major winter storm that we had over the weekend. Now, arterial and main routes seem to be clear across much of St. Louis City and County and St. Charles County. However, as I mentioned, many residential roads may still remain untouched. We checked in with the transportation directors across the region to see how the buses are managing the road conditions. Parkway said they're ready to go. The lot's been cleared and salted. The buses have been cleaned off for the snow. Fort Zumwalt saying that their superintendent and transportation team have been monitoring the roads throughout the weather event and early this morning. The routes will run a bit slower, by the way, than normal. They will update families about the specific bus on their regular channels. Again, we can't say it enough. Dress warm, stay dry. And of course, the teachers are ready to welcome you all back. Are the kids excited to go back to school? Or do they want a little more time at home? Do they want to go to Art Hill one more time? How many of you have been out there? I know I'm asking you a bunch of questions. Have you been out to Art Hill with the kids? Or if not, where's a good place to go sledding? I still have that kid in my heart. We don't really have a lot of time with going and visiting my mom, obviously after the fall. But if I can find any time this weekend before this all melts away, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon, I would love to go sledding. I also would still love to go to Hidden Valley, but my neighbor's daughter, she broke her femur in Colorado after she was in a skiing accident. And my husband's like, no, Monica, can you just put the skiing to bed? Just stop already. Let me go to comments before we continue on and say good morning to all of you. Rose says, Monica, we were looking for you last night. Okay, I was wondering if you were there. We missed the whole first period. They wouldn't let us in the parking garage because of protests. Whoa, what? Oh, I didn't see that. We finally got in. Blues fought back. Yep, we'll get to that in just a second. I didn't see the protesters, but they did have a street shut down because of the road was closed leading into the garage. Well, we thought that was like an ice, like some kind of a break in the road or something, a water main break. Candy, most certainly I love dogs, as does my whole family. Mary says, I love it. Dog lover here. Good morning, Karen. Love the shirt, Christy says. Coffee in the morning, chai tea in the afternoon, Stephanie. Okay, good chilly morning, Candy. Good morning, Joe. Stephanie, good morning. Good morning, Mary. Watch the Blues game. Let's see. Minnesota lost to we lost to the Wild. Oh, we lost. The Wild won in a shootout. Was it a Wild shootout? 4-3. All right. Spoiler alert, by the way. Everybody's giving away what's going on in the Blues. Yes, they did lose. We'll get to that. Good morning, Julie Fabian, Linda Eckert. Wow, Cindy is in Florida. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what? I had a meeting yesterday with a woman in Tallahassee and she said it was cold. And I was like, is it our cold? And she's like, well, it's cold in Tallahassee. It's not what we would expect. So 31 degrees, Cindy says, in Florida. What part, by the way? Good morning, Kathleen and Sean. Christy, good morning. Hope you're all having a great start. Let me pop over here to Instagram. Let's see all of you that are on. Clifton, Penning, Hutches, Megan Temple Design. Not sure if you're all still on, but good morning to all of you as well. If you can't go downhill skiing, you could always go cross country skiing. Oh, that's a good idea. See, I love my audience. Oh my gosh, Joe, I've never done that. I've also never had those, sledding snowshoes on. I like that idea. Great cardio exercise. Okay. And I think that would be less chances of me getting hurt. Linda, all schools down here still out. Okay. I mentioned in the rural area, I bet you they are. Secondary roads are still pretty bad. At this rate, I'll be snowed in until next weekend, maybe through February. I'm counting the days till spring. Yes. Good morning, Ann. Love your shirt. Be safe, everyone. Cindy. Okay. Santa Rosa Beach. So yes, it's cold everywhere. That's just the region is nuts. And the cleanup, by the way, is continuing. I just mentioned, I thought that was a water main break outside of the garage. Parkway Central High School cleaning up after a sprinkler pipe burst. So we're seeing a lot of this again with the cold air around. According to a district spokesperson at Parkway Central, it burst in the theater area. And because there were people inside the school at the time, it was turned off within 20 minutes. Now, dozens of people were working to clean up the area Tuesday afternoon. Classes scheduled for that area are moved to today. And obviously, parents, you have your communication. If in fact that is still going to impact your kiddos, they will let you know through the proper channels. Okay, ready for this one? I absolutely love this story of the day. A mother's love spelled out in the snow for a teenager battling cancer. So that teen gets a chance to look out the window and see this special surprise right outside of the hospital. It reminds me of back when, 2020 hit and all the things that people were trying to do as their loved ones were in the hospital. Well, this is where Monday, the First Alert 4 KMOV anchors noticed Jaden carved into the snow on the sky cam that they located just outside of Children's Hospital, started looking into it. And after it was posted on social media, KMOV discovered the heartwarming story behind the name in the snow. Jaden Larson, who is described as a friend to every person that he knows, is undergoing chemotherapy at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Jaden's only 19 and one of 8 children, adopted from Guatemala as a baby, and has been in and out of the hospital for the past 2 years. His 5 brothers just shaved their heads to support him through his journey. He is staying for treatment for the next 6 to 7 weeks. His mother, Rebecca, thought that maybe seeing his name in the park below his room would cheer him up a little bit, right? As he's been confined to his room for the past week. Her husband noted she's from Minnesota, so I guess this cold weather is pretty normal for her. Jaden, by the way, is a diehard Packers fan and will be getting a bone marrow transplant. So our thoughts and prayers going out to Jaden. And I believe that bone marrow transplant, by the way, took place yesterday. His father told First Alert 4 that they are grateful for all of our friends and family who have been a constant support to us and an absolutely amazing staff at Children. So I love that they are having such a wonderful experience there. But for all of us, you just said friends and family. Well, you can add thousands upon thousands that watch this show as your friends and family, Jaden. We're all rooting for you. And don't you love that? That's my favorite story of the day. Now, this one ticks me off a little bit. And I said tick because it has to do with TikTok. These challenges that these kids get into, this one should never have happened. A dog is no longer with us after the owner's door allegedly was kicked in by teenagers trying yet another TikTok challenge. Authorities in Florida plan to make an arrest. That's the good news, after taking a second look at a case in which the teenagers allegedly kicked this woman's door in that led to the death of her dog. The sheriff's office in Deltona, Florida, said a group of teens was playing ding dong ditch in a Deltona neighborhood back in December. Things then escalated. Investigators say one of the teens kicked in the front door of this particular woman's home. She wasn't there. Her dogs were, though. One of them, a 3-year-old Yorkshire Terrier named Spooky, got out, ran away because he was scared. He was later found dead after being hit by a car. Obviously, this is devastating. And the poor woman that was the owner of the dog said, "I feel like I failed him." She believes the incident was part of the door kick challenge, which has gone viral on TikTok. The challenge involves kicking or banging on random front doors, often at night, before they run away. Now, okay, I am going to go back, and there's probably a lot of you that are listening to this going, well, Monica, it's no different than, were you a kid and did you ring doorbells, or did you call to different neighbors or just random numbers and say, knock, knock, the whole, your refrigerator's running, the stupid things that kids do. But I'm just looking at a lot of these challenges, and I just think that they're elevated to a level that they shouldn't be. Either they're going to get injured, they're going to die. And remember the asphyxiation aspect? What the heck was that all about? They were putting nooses and stuff around their neck, just trying to get it before or get it to a point where they get this euphoria. I mean, I don't know. I know we did some dumb things as kids, but some of these things just take the cake. And that one ticks me off a little bit, right? So feel free to weigh in. I know no one's probably going to say, "Oh, my kids are doing that," because they don't want to say I'm letting my kids, but I don't know. Let's just get these things to go away. Let me give you a better story. Another fun, and this is the inspirational story I wanted to get to this morning. High school students that are training to become EMTs, they helped render aid to a teacher seriously injured in a fall at their school. So you imagine they're going along and they are learning what to do in school and not thinking at all that it's going to be something that they're going to have to do in real life just yet. So these are a group of high school students that were putting their training into action. They helped this substitute teacher who suffered a serious fall on campus. This is South Technical High School, by the way. So a spokesperson said that there was a substitute teacher walking with a class down a steep hill on campus when students said the teacher tripped and fell, hitting his head, rolling off the road into nearby brush. At the bottom of the hill is a large ambulance garage where those students in the school's firefighter and EMT program take part in lectures and hands-on lab work. The kids said that they were just sitting in the garage with the doors up studying. They heard people yelling from the hill. First, they said they thought it was a joke, but they came running in, said they needed EMTs, and then they went into action. When the boys made it partly up the hill, they saw a group of students crowded around, still unsure of what happened, and then they see it, and they said immediately their training took hold. The boys continued to work on the man, did CPR, and then obviously called 911. The call was dispatched to the Fenton Fire Protection District. They work in the schools to connect with local high school students about the profession. The man did suffer serious injuries, but continues to recover. And the boys said the experience solidified their decision to pursue that profession. How could it not, right? They saw firsthand what they are thinking about going into, then they get a chance to put it into play. All right, right? Applaud those kids, whoever those teenagers are, mama and dad, you raise them right. And I absolutely want them in action, right? All right, we were talking about the Blues. So you already know, unfortunately, the Stars beat the Blues. The final was 4-3, and we were there. Were you there as well? Thomas Harley's goal, just over a minute left, short-circuited a late rally by the Blues, lifted the Stars to a 4-3 win on Tuesday night. How many of you that either watched the game or were at the game thought they were going to pull this one? I mean, it was electric, obviously, before the game. I hadn't been in a long time, so super excited to see the Blues play. It was electric in there, and really truly did believe that we were going to be the good luck charm. I thought for sure that they were going to pull out a win. Played great, but again, that last minute goal just solidified it for the Stars. So again, losing 4-3 last night. Let's give you better news for the Billikens. Robbie Avila hit a 3-pointer with 3 seconds left. So number 21, St. Louis Billikens beat George Washington, the final 79-76. I have not been to a Billikens game just yet. We need to go though, because we bought some tickets at an auction, and probably only have a handful of games left. Let's see. Up next for George Washington, they host Fordham on Saturday. Up next for St. Louis, hosting Dayton on Friday night. And I asked the other day, have you been to a Blues game? I have not. All right, ready for National Day of Calendar. It's National Pop Art Day, Library Shelfie Day, National Gift of the Ladybug Day. It is Data Privacy Day. And if you love pancakes, make them with blueberries. National Blueberry Pancake Day. And it is National Kazoo Day. Did you have one of those when you were kids? I did. All right, let me look at some more of the comments coming in. Let's see. We ended with Cindy. Okay, Stephanie. Yes, the Wild was down 3-1, came back in the third period. So Stephanie, by the way, is from Minnesota. Julie, good morning. I am here just getting things done around the house before heading to my daughters in Imperial. Shannon, good morning. Monica, go tubing instead. Okay, Shannon, I have not done that either. I remember when they brought that into Hidden Valley. So for those of you that are outside of St. Louis, Missouri, Hidden Valley, we have, and while we have some people got a foot of snow, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. This is absolutely when you want to go to Hidden Valley, skiing or snowboarding or tubing, as Shannon said. Yeah, but I like that idea that Joe gave. So yes, tubing. I don't know. Knowing me, I'd probably get hurt from tubing. Shannon, have you been, by the way? I forgot about that. So thank you for reminding me. Karen, good morning. How are you, beautiful? It's Barb Burr, she says, good morning, Monica. Can't wait to see the show. Stay warm. Prayers for Jaden. Yes, absolutely. Tony, good morning. Oh my goodness, haven't seen you in forever. Still cold out there. Be safe. I want to help him. My heart goes out to him and his family. Absolutely. Julie, we don't kick indoors. Exactly. Kristen, I feel like knocking on a door and kicking in is two different things. Agreed. Mary says agreed. Stephanie, prayers sent for Jaden. Good morning, Tony. Exactly. Ringing a doorbell is not so bad, but kicking it in, it is breaking the law. Rose, stupid things kids do are getting more stupid. I looked out my kitchen window where someone was, let's see. pulling their friends behind their car. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I've seen people that are doing that even, trying to ski down their own roads, though. There's so many dangerous things that can happen on sleds. We did some stuff, but not that. Karen was there. Karen, darn it, we didn't get the Blues a win. Jenny, good morning. Kristen, I used to take my kids to the SLU Billikens game, and it was a lot of fun. That's what I've heard. Have not been, but I'm hearing it is an absolute blast. All right. So good morning to all of you. Keep those comments coming in, and I can't wait for you to interact with my guest. So if you're a fan of music, period, I always say we should all listen to all genres of music. But if you loved rock and roll, I was a big Ozzy Osbourne fan growing up, Black Sabbath, all of that. If you like that, you're going to love my guest, Richie Callison. Jenny said, I'm wondering if Jaden has a match for his transplant. Prayers continue for Jaden and family. Let me look into this a little bit more. Or you might want to reach out to the KMOV folks, since the anchors just organically came across that. I'm sure for all of you wanting to help out the family, that they could probably give you more information. So maybe reach out. I'll try to do some looking during the interview, and I'll let you know what I can find. Hey, real quick, want to let you know about a mobile Monica coming up. Rose, I know you asked when our next one was. We have a ton coming up, by the way, that I'd love to see you. This one's going to be at Apricot Lane Boutique. Did you see the interview Monday with the owner, Monica? Loved it. February 10th, 4 p.m. Put it on the calendar. Right before that, by the way, they have a Galentine's Day pop-up that'll be on February 7th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So ladies, if you're looking for something fun to do, otherwise come to Apricot Lane on the 10th. They're located at 3028 Winghaven. We're going to be there at 4 p.m. From now until then, check them out at Apricot Lane O'Fallon Mo, at Apricot Lane O'Fallon Mo, and then online, apricotlaneboutique.com/store/O'Fallon. We will be there. I hope you will as well. It's going to be a blast. And throughout the show, I'll tell you about some other fun opportunities where you can join us, because we've got a ton of mobile Monicas coming up. If you know someone that you think you would like for us to spotlight, so we take the show on the road and we do what's called a mobile Monica. It's been at restaurants. We've had it at boutiques. We've done festivals. We've done food events on a weekend, you name it. It doesn't matter where it is, or really cool business spotlights like we did with Principia, or the one coming up tomorrow. We are going to feature a spotlight on the Excel Center. A lot of you might have never heard of them. It is so super cool. I'm going to tell you right now, bring your tissues, because when those adults, I'm not going to call them kids, when those adults get their diploma and these certifications to go out in life and believe in themselves again, it is such a powerful story. Tomorrow, the Excel Center. So Mobile Monica's business spotlights, actual sponsors for new segments, which, by the way, thanks to all of you that responded immediately when I just had a thought. What do you think about Testament Tuesday? You all immediately, I mean, this is the quickest I've ever seen a segment really grab hold. Everyone said yes across the board. Testament Tuesday, do it, Monica, do it. Well, not only are we doing it, but I had a woman who reached out to me right away and said, I want to sponsor Testament Tuesday. So if you want your business behind, again, this kind of a show, inspiration, motivation, positivity, how would you not take your brand and my brand? Let's put them together and let's give you all that attention. Thousands upon thousands across all of our 7 platforms. We love you for it. Keep sharing, liking, following, and telling your friends and family all across the world. And I want that. Other countries, of course, other states, have them watch this show, because while we do include some stuff that has to do with local news and regional news, we also do national. Look, we just did the story in Florida. It is something for everyone. And what I feel that we can use and that we talk about, instead of all the death and destruction and depression that goes on. We don't need that, right? We need more of being there for each other, a community lifting each other up. And ideally, what we hope to do is support those small businesses. All right, taking our first break. And when we come back, we're going to shine that spotlight on Richie Callison. You ready for a little rock? Maybe we can get him to sing for us in the morning. We'll find out. That's next.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you, being on the Monica Adams Show has just been a delight. It's been a joy. What she's doing for the community is amazing. I'm so proud to be sitting in this blue chair, being honored and honoring the people for the showcase that I'm doing for the Neiman Marcus Black Creatives in the Lou Black History Month Showcase. I want to end this segment with a poem that I wrote. I grew up on the North Side. That's where it all started. Dreams, goals, and aspirations grew within me, and they never departed. You see, my environment was jaded, but that never fazed me, because what my parents instilled in me made my dreams go crazy. Mama was my cheerleader, and Papa gave me the tools. Everything could be yours, they would say. Just make sure you follow these rules. Work hard, don't look back, and keep your mind set on stable. And if you can't find yourself somewhere to sit, create your own table. Thank you, Monica, for creating this table. Take care. Be blessed.
And the blessings abound for all of us. You watching and these incredible sponsors you see at the bottom of the screen. Today's show, by the way, brought to you by Spas and More. They put the in spa. 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills. Check them out for me on social media at Spas and More STL. Their website, spasandmorestl.com. And when I say Spas and More, I mean that. They have cold plunges like that right here. That's called the Chili Goat. And then they go right into the Sweaty Goat, that many of you know, of course, as a sauna. But if you're looking to stay active throughout the winter, they've got swim spas. They're very tied into one of the greatest, Michael Phelps. Spas and More, carrying the world's largest manufacturer of master spas. So if you haven't gone in yet, just do me a favor. This is their showroom that I went into. Y'all know I still love that one. I would have loved it. I know Linda says, but Monica, you don't want that roof. You want to look up and see that snow falling. It would have just been really nice to have a hot tub during this stretch of winter weather. That's when you really want it, right? And again, I always stress, it is not about luxury. This is about therapy. This is about wellness. When it comes time for you to be thinking about this, please support those that support us. Spas and More. Again, you also can look for them March 6th through the 8th. Downtown, the home show is returning. They'll be there. Some of the Blues alumni showcasing the bare knuckle barbecue sauce. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, March 6th through the 8th, downtown. Look for Spas and More. You only get a little sneak peek because we're going to get all of it right here in an acoustic version. Super cool, right? That's Richie Callison. So we are going to feature him in this hour, actually from our area, but then he was away in California. What brought him back? In fact, I have to thank a friend of his who said, Monica, you know, you preach know your value. And I have the most awesome story for you of someone who did know his value. And he knew musicians should be paid, gosh darn it, and get some tips. Well, that's what we do here. We absolutely take care of our musicians. But that wasn't really happening in California. And he thought, I'm going to come back home. I'm going to be here for those that really launched my career. Hey, we've got that in common. That's why I stay right here in St. Louis to thank all of you. And he wanted to do the same. So we're going to tell you about his background. We'll tell you where you can see him play live and support him as he is supporting our area. So first of all, let's welcome him to our Real Monica Adams Show. Richie, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in St. Charles.
St. Charles?
Yeah.
Okay, the old question, where'd you go to high school?
Francis Howell.
Francis Howell. Do you understand why do we ask that question? It's so silly.
Everybody does. It's a St. Louis thing.
But I always love to hear why people think we ask that question, because I've heard different viewpoints on this. What do you think?
I've got different theories.
So I will tell you, I grew up in Florissant. I grew up in North County, and 100% to God and to my Father in heaven, we only asked because we figured, oh, I wonder if I played soccer against this person, if I dated this guy, if we were at a party together. That was the reason we asked. But I've heard other people say that they thought it was a status thing.
Yeah, I've had, interviews with people who ask, so how old are you? I'm like, there's certain things I don't talk about. Oh, where'd you go to high school? Oh, when'd you graduate?
Yeah.
Investigators.
Investigators. Yes, that's the field I left. But from the knowing your value standpoint, and I didn't realize this. So you obviously were here. We're going to talk about the history of Richie playing here and now back here. But you left in what year to go to California?
In 87.
87. And so you would think the Mecca, LA, California, New York, etc., that they would be taking care of our musicians.
Everybody had the same idea.
Yeah.
So it was just flooded. And then the 90s when grunge came in, everybody flocked to Seattle. So about 96, I moved back and just played cover tunes in bars, the same thing I did growing up.
Sure.
And then I just realized after 5 years touring with Head East, get back on board with my records. So I moved again in 2013.
Hmm.
Just came back this year
Right?
because it's still saturated and the clubs take advantage of it. The casinos, they just don't pay well.
Did you all know that? I did not, and
I found out the
I
hard
hate
way.
to say shame on people, but yeah, well, we just found out, and he, as he said, he found out the hard way. So you were making tips only,
No, they would pay us,
some, but
but it
not what you
doesn't go
probably
as
were
far.
worth. Yes.
The dollar doesn't go as far as it does here.
Oh, absolutely not. The cost of living is
I
just
love
crazy.
I love California, but it's not going anywhere. I can always go visit and
Absolutely.
play. I'll
Absolutely.
play venues once the record gets some traction.
Yeah, so we just heard a little bit of it. Richie is going to bless us with playing that here live. So let's go back for people that are like, wait a minute, he looks familiar. His name sounds familiar. Where would I have seen him? Well, probably Keishi. First of all, maybe that's where you heard him. But you've played with a lot of incredible musicians, you yourself, and then you've had people say, I like you so much, I want you to play with this. So I looked back at some interviews. Did you open for Dokken?
I did at the old Mississippi Nights
Yes.
when it was a tiny little skinny bar.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, that's going back some years.
Uh,
A lot of you are like, what the heck's Mississippi Nights? Right? So you'd have to look back through these things. But then also, let's talk about Geezer Butler. So Geezer loves you and ends up saying, all right, we're going to talk about some Ozzy Osbourne stories also. But Geezer says, I love you and I want you to be with the band. So how did that all go? Tell me about that conversation.
He's English, but he married a girl from Chesterfield, so he had a house here. And when he broke away from Sabbath in the mid '80s, he was shopping studios and came to my studio. I had a professional studio at my house, and fired a singer and hired me to go to England. So I said, sure.
Sorry for the singer, but I'm glad that's how life works, though, right? There's an opening for someone or somebody else. It's all the reason season lifetime. Don't know where that person gets a chance to go to somewhere else. But so when you get asked, you don't say no to that. This is something we teach everybody. When you get offered something, don't have any regrets. It might be
Oh no,
scary, but go at it. So was it an immediate yes for you?
it was. And so I had to postpone a lot of things. The band was actively playing. I was in a relationship. I had my studio open, so I had to rearrange a lot within 72 hours.
Oh,
I had
that's
to be on a plane and in London by that
in
Monday.
72 hours. Okay, that is a big decision. So, all of you, think about that. As you're just tuning in, Richie Callison, we're talking about getting opportunities. And if you said, so think about your life. If you had said no, what do you think?
Exactly.
Right?
I did that when I was 19. I had to say no to Chuck Berry.
Oh,
It was just a 6-week tour as a bassist because I grew up as a bass player. And we played at his place a lot and knew him quite well. But I had just joined a band in Illinois that was playing 200 nights a year. And
oh yeah.
we did a lot, but I had to leave that after 4 years as well. So
Right? So, let's go all the way back. What is the youngest age where you are either singing or playing an instrument?
I wanted to start at age 6, but didn't get a real guitar till I was 12.
12. And so, who were your idols growing up?
Uh, Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, and from there it would be Led Zeppelin,
Okay.
Geezer, Black Sabbath,
Sure, sure.
and then on and on and on. I mean, I could name 1,000 people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully, obviously, over the years, someone says, well, now he's my idol, which isn't that the greatest thing to look at? Oh, I bet you there is, though. There are people that would see you and go, I want to be like him. And that is really what the whole paying forward thing is, right? You've got
Right,
somebody,
right.
you hope they take you under their wings and they give you an opportunity, as Geezer did. And then you go, well, I'm going to do the same thing for someone else. By the way, you just recently played at a friend of ours where we celebrated our 400th show. So shout out to Tiffany and Larry at Circle 6. Had you been there before?
I had never been there, and I didn't get to meet Tiffany. She was there earlier.
Ah.
So we were just busy setting up, but it was a fun little place.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and so proud. And you've got some really cool dates coming up. We'll give you a rundown for you all to go and see it. So you've been back how long now? Just
I came back in July.
in July of last year, right? In
Mm-hmm.
2025. So from July till now, what has been the welcoming of everybody going, oh, Richie, you're back. I want to come see you?
Oh, yeah, just going out and reconnecting with people. Actually going hoarse talking to all these people in the clubs
I'm
because
sure.
you have to yell, when the band's cranked up. But I've been doing a lot of acoustic solo gigs.
Right.
So I'll do covers of my favorite artists, and then I'll do a half dozen of my songs in the set. So I've got a few.
When you were a kid, what were you listening? Because I mean, there's a tie we'll talk about with Keishi. Were you listening to Keishi back then, or I also think I remember growing up it was KWK.
Right. Yeah, because it was KXOK is where we heard everything.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, what is Keishi? It
Yep.
was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be celebrating their 60th anniversary next year.
Crazy. I don't understand. We're not old enough.
Where does the time
We're
go?
we're just babies. So,
That's right.
So your music was played on Keishi.
It was. I got on a compilation record that they put together, Keishi Seeds Volume 2 in 81, and I saw the potential. So I left the band that I was with in Illinois and just put my studio together and started making my own records on my own label with my own publishing company.
So as you are growing up, and people, for all of you that have young musicians or singers, and I'll ask him what he thinks about social media and how people are discovered now, because it's a whole nother world than when we were all growing up. But as you go through and you're thinking, okay, I'm a singer, or okay, I'm a musician, but is there something always in your mind of, but I also want to write, I also would like to produce, I also want to direct? There's so many levels of things that some people are like, nope, I'm only getting into this. When you were younger, did you say the whole playing field's open, I want to do it all?
When I was about 19, I actually wanted to get into comedy.
Really?
And so I try to reflect that in my music videos. So as time goes on, as we produce more music videos, I like to put a little comedy here because some of the lyrics are pretty funny, actually. If you
Well, that's the fun side, though, right? You can look before music television was ever available. And then when that all came out and we all grew up with MTV, I mean, who didn't? We just had Alan Hunter on a couple years ago. I would love to go back and just think about that. They just recently wrapped up after all these years. I was like, now you don't have that opportunity. But they probably saw the writing on the wall. Like, is anybody actually watching that anymore?
Yeah, I think the attention span is like 15 seconds. That's why TikTok has a 15 second.
It is. It's crazy. Well, you know this as a musician, though. I remember working in music radio, and some of the artists would say, hey, we've got some new songs, and we would want to play them for you guys and just to see what you think. And so they would play and they would look at us and they're like, see, you guys, we already lost you. Evidently that's not a winner. I'm like, we don't give that to us, but it is true. You got to get them hooked quick. And if you don't, they don't think that's a winner.
As the saying goes, don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Oh, I like that. I've not heard that. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. Okay, very interesting. If you're just tuning in, once again, Richie Callison is our guest. You heard a little bit of, and this song just came out on January 1st?
Yes.
Right? So brand new. It is The Man You Want Me to Be. You just heard a snippet of it. Will you play this for us?
I will.
I'm asking a lot of a musician, by the way, because they play till late in the evening, early morning hours. So it was always interesting when I was in radio that we would be like, yes, are you ready to go? All right, what the heck, we'll try this. Yeah. So we're going to have him do this for us. He's going to bless us with that. Not just one, but he's going to do two songs before we wrap up. Richie Callison, will find out more about where he's going to be playing live. And then can we get some Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath stories from you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. This is going to be fun. Richie Callison, my guest when we return. By the end of this, I want 100% raising your hands. I'm here to empower you because you all have intrinsic value. I don't care if someone has told you that you don't. Today, we are here to make you believe in yourself.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bonacorsi, and I'm the president and founder of J Bloom. And I chose Monica Adams to be our keynote speaker because of the positivity that she illuminates whenever she speaks. She's an amazing influence and has so much impact on these women that they are going to leave change.
It's a constant education. Never stop being the leader. If you are given the opportunity to be, and I hate the word boss, by the way, don't we like leader more? Have you all seen that image of a boss shouting behind their team and then the leader out in the trenches? And I know there's a lot of people that are thrown into your paths, and there are people who try to squash your dreams. It could be your partner, it could be your parents, your children, a boss that you've had, but you cannot, from this day forward, I'm going to ask you to not give them power any longer. So we think it, we write it, we hear it. Think right here. Make connections today. Then pave that way. You now have the awareness. So how do you pave that path?
Your message, like at the end, you can be anything, but before that, be kind.
Yep.
My husband's a pastor, and that every one of his sermons, that's always within it. That be kind.
Yep.
You have to be kind.
It is.
Oh, you're fine.
Look at this. So there's an employee out there who still thinks of you because you were kind to them. Never stop being that leader. By the way, I want to be remembered for this phrase when I'm no longer on this earth. The greatest rewards in life come from the most uncomfortable walk. God meant for me to talk to you. Oh, it's okay. You, honey, have a lot of value. And someone's told you that you don't. And I was meant to be in your life today. I've always said, I have chills. Do we all have chills? God, I say, if you can have me change one person's life, then I have done your job. I'm hoping it's all of you. But see, she's not okay for whatever reason. I don't know your story, but I'm going to tell you they're wrong. And all these women believe in you.
To hire Monica Adams for your next event, email info@therealmonicaadams.com.
Well, now you say you're feeling blue about the things you're going through. Well, baby, I feel it too. But now you just can't live your life by pretending to be the wife of a man in the days of our lives. But I know just what you're looking for. Someone to give you just a little more than the man that you want me to be. I see everything the way you want me to see. I'll never be the man you want me to be. You say you won't see me just like you do on TV, but this is real and it's not an act. So in the very next episode, won't you please just let yourself go and put some trust? Won't you trust in me? But I know just what you're looking for. Someone to give you just a little more than the man that you want me to be. See everything the way you want me to see. I'll never be the man you want me to be. That's the abbreviated version.
That's the abbreviated version. So if we want to see the full version, again, it's just coming out, came out January 1st. There's a lot of opportunities for live shows. So you just played JP's Hideout, by the way, just about a week or so ago. He was at Circle 6, but many opportunities. Are you playing in the St. Louis, Missouri side and across the river in Illinois side?
We played in Columbia in December.
In December?
A place called Old Monroe Distillery.
Oh, yes.
It's
I
nice.
heard. That's what I've heard.
Brand
my,
new place.
My friend Michelle went there and she's like, you and your husband have got to get to this. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. We've got some Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne stories. We're going to hear more about where you may have seen him and his musical repertoire and what has led him to now. And as well, by the way, maybe you want to book him, right? He's like, yes,
Sure.
please. Let's do it. He just came back in July from California. An opportunity for you to have him at your business. More with Richie Callison when we return. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? Do you go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. By the way, if you have a musician that you would like for us to feature, I'm looking at all the different people that we've had on this show, and we haven't had any in a while, but some of our favorites and your favorites from our Real Monica Adams Show over the last 3 years have been some of our musicians. Sometimes it's people you've never heard of before. Other times it's, oh my gosh, yes, I've seen them, but where did I see them? Bringing them back up to the forefront of your mind. So maybe you've seen Richie Callison in the past. Maybe you heard him on the radio. If not, there's opportunities for you to go and see him. So let me give you a rundown of some of the places that he'll be. Actually, at the end of the month, this is a super cool place. Richie, have you been to Lake Creek Winery already?
I have.
Yeah, so Lake Creek Winery, he'll be there on January 31st from 5 to 8 in the evening, as well at Cooper's American Pub and Grill, which is in St. Peter's, February 7th, 7:30 to 11. And then on the 13th of February, Piccadilly, which is in Union, Night Shift on the 18th in St. Peter's, and then Sky Music Lounge on the 27th at the end of February. That's February 27th, which is in Baldwin. And you're opening for Petty Cash.
Mhm.
I don't know Petty Cash, but well, I got to see all this music. So let me get this to you.
All right.
So we talked about Geezer Butler and we talked about Black Sabbath. So did you meet Ozzy?
I did.
Okay. So what can you tell us about Ozzy?
The first meeting, we were rehearsing for a big showcase in London, and the door barges open, and here he comes with his bodyguards, and because they're old buddies, it's like, well, come on, let's hear it.
Good.
And so we get ready to start back up, and it's loud. So I get my earplugs, I'm starting, and he goes, Richie, what you doing there? I go, I'm putting earplugs in. He goes, that's not metal. Metal, like heavy metal. I just laughed. And then fast forward a week later, he came to the showcase at the Marquee in London, but he stayed out of, he didn't want to disrupt the show.
Yeah.
So he came back afterwards, and we were getting beers for everybody. And he said, no, I'm on the wagon. But then he changed his mind. He says, no, we're celebrating Geezer's band. Give me a scotch. Give me a big scotch. And they did, like a tumbler.
Oh my gosh,
I'm sitting there sipping on this beer, and
just straight
he's
scotch?
like, cheers, Richie. He drank the whole thing down with no ice.
Like a tumbler?
And I thought he was going to die right in my lap. But funny guy.
That's what I was going to ask, because he seemed comical, but it was also so ridiculously difficult to understand what he was saying. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
I mean, did you have to ask him? Can you
I
repeat
did
that
a few
5 times?
Second only to our Scottish keyboard player. I could not understand a word he said.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond, someone speaking a different language. It was just, are those actual words?
He kind of stutters too.
Interesting. But yes, I mean, it's so funny. My husband's always like, what is it with you? I don't know what it is. I have different rock groups that I grew up liking, but he never, ever understands I was a huge Ozzy fan. I'm just like, I don't know. The music is incredible. I mean, and he's just comical.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You just sit there and laugh at it. What's your favorite Ozzy song?
Oh, boy. I want to say No More Tears, mainly because of the guitar
Oh,
solo.
right.
Because I know Zach, and he's just phenomenal guitar player.
Okay. Did he ever try to eat a bat in front of you? If you know, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, boy.
So, are there any crazy stories that Geezer told you?
Um, no, we were pretty well behaved.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it going
I
to?
think, well, here's the thing. When I first got there, they put me in a little roadside inn, and he'd call at 3 in the morning, and I'd, be in bed, obviously, and he'd say, Richie, open the bar. We're coming over. I'm like, the bar closes like 11. They closed really early over there back in the 80s.
Okay.
And he goes, no, you're a resident. You go down to the front desk and they open the bar anytime.
Oh.
So they would come over at 2:30, 3 in the morning and open the bar and then close it at 6. So.
Oh, at 6 in the morning?
Yeah, I just couldn't keep up with them drinking wise. I mean, I
That's
did
hard.
for a while, but
Well, and I was just going to go into that because there's a lot of, whether it's a stereotype or it's real, there was a lot of that ruined a lot of careers. It's the reason why some fabulous musicians are no longer with us, unfortunately.
yeah.
Right? And it's hard for anybody that's watching this, you think about, peer pressure, and it's anybody trying to get in, we're going to go beyond alcohol, but get into drugs and alcohol and just
Right.
how it just completely ruins a person. How do you stay away from that?
I'm pretty fortunate because I always managed whatever band I was in.
Mm.
And at the end of the night, somebody had to get paid and get the equipment loaded. So I'd stick to the one free drink per set.
Wow.
But I finally got away from that. I haven't, 5 years now, I haven't drank anything.
Well,
I've always been a casual.
That's good.
drinker, yeah.
Because that's not what you hear a lot in the industry,
I know.
unfortunately.
I have a lot of friends that are no longer with us. So.
Because I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Is it, I mean, I understand there's tremendous pressure. I was thinking about this the other day when I was like, okay, I'm going to come in and ask Richie things I hope he's not been asked. I want it to be a different type of an interview and have fun, but also educate and get deep and be real, right? Is it the pressures? Is it that they never ever can truly just feel like they can just be them again?
For touring bands, a lot of times it's boredom.
Boredom.
Because you'll have 2 days between shows and you'll get to a hotel and you'll be there all day with nothing to do. I would grab a gallon of water and go hiking for 10 miles. But the other guys would be sitting around, chain smoking or drinking or whatever.
It's interesting. Again, if you're just tuning in, Richie Callison, we're just talking about the musician's life. We talk a little bit about Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. What I always thought never made sense to me was how I think that would be so damaging to, especially if they're a singer, right? How it would be damaging to their vocal cords.
That helped me.
Yeah.
Because, ear, nose, and throat guy, first time I had trouble, he said,
Yep. Well, so you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
But yet they still do it day in and day out.
Yeah, and just talking alone. I mean, Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, because the band never understood me, that they thought I was being rude, but I couldn't talk between shows because he had a lot of vocal stuff to do.
Sure.
And then he had addiction problems, which ended up killing him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Same with Chris Cornell and Kurt Cobain and all these people.
It's unfortunately, and I don't know if it'll ever stop, but you hear people in interviews, and if they were able to turn their life around, it's like, the demons that were against them, or they believed in their minds. And again, the pressures, but I did think about that. It's like you get to a point where you want to break into the business and you're so excited, yet at the same time, that is the last time you ever truly were the person that could ever go out of the grocery store, right? And just be you, that all changes. But that's you got to choose that. It's the life you chose.
Fortunately, I don't have to worry about that.
But again, it's a learning point for all of you that are getting into the industry. So, but when you're growing up though, and you're thinking, I want your family, and that has to be that's your second family, right? And sometimes you're with them more than you're with your immediate family. A lot of stressors it puts on relationships. I mean, it takes a heck of a bond to be able to say, okay, my significant other or my husband or my wife or whatever, they're going to be gone for months on end.
See you in 9 months.
Right? That's hard. How do you deal with that with relationships?
It was a bit difficult with, when I went to England, because when I came back, things were different than when I left, because the lady I was with for a couple of years, it just, things change.
Right.
And people grow. And I was, there's a song that talked about it. And, I headed for the stage lights, and she headed, different directions.
Stage left.
I think it was a Harry Chapin. It was a Harry Chapin song.
So obviously, from a rock standpoint, you talked about some of the artists that you. What I really love to get into is when you have someone in whatever genre they're in, and then they say, "Oh, but I take influences from rap, from operatic, from this and that." So, what would someone not know about Richie that would be, "Oh, I actually take an influence from this and this"? Or he said Eminem, and I thought, wow, right? In your mind, you're like, you listen to Eminem? And I was like, what? At that point, why do you think someone doesn't listen to anything outside of their own music? I mean, that's how you become really well-rounded, right?
Right.
So you talked about from a guitar standpoint, from a singing standpoint, who do you think from decades ago to now that you think is brilliant?
Paul Rogers, from Free, Bad Company, and The Firm. Robert Plant.
Oh, yes.
He's kind of, he's settled into his new voice, because he blew his voice out early. I think Janis Joplin helped him with that.
See?
And
what about
those
today?
two mainly. I'm sorry?
What about today?
Well, Chris Cornell, I actually do a tribute to Chris Cornell. He was in Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, Audio Slave, and then Solo. And he's not with us anymore. So those are probably my top three.
Okay.
And Freddie Mercury. I got to see Freddie Mercury as a kid.
Did you? Brilliant artist that you think, one, no longer here. One, thank God he got away from the demons that are out there, right? And then looking at his life and the bullying that he went through. But here he is today, and it's, you look and find role models. And
his voice as well. He's another one of my top 10 favorites. When first time I heard Tiny Dancer, he's doing the falsetto. I'm like,
how'd you do that?
Oh, so I started working on that.
Really?
I don't really play piano much, but I can do a little bit enough to write a song.
So besides guitar, what other instruments?
Drums, bass, a little bit of piano.
Wow. But guitar first.
Always.
And then what would be second?
Bass, because I was a bass player for about 15 years.
I love it. Again, normally when you see a musician, they're like, okay, what else can I play? Let me try something else. And then again, we'll give you a rundown of where you can see him live, where you can follow him, and more importantly, where you can book him. We'll put all that information up on the screen for you as well. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? You go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
So if people want to hear your music, the YouTube, would that be the easiest place?
YouTube, I have an official YouTube channel.
So they would look under just Richie Callison?
Richie Callison Official.
Richie
YouTube.
Callison Official, right? Like real Monica Adams Official Richie Callison. I said this earlier, and I wanted to bring it up before we wrapped up. The aspect of so many different artists, musicians, actors, actresses being found on social media. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a good thing.
Yes.
For compensation for musicians, it's not a good thing.
Right.
Because I don't know if you know the breakdown of what we get paid on streaming.
No.
If someone streams one of my songs 16 times, I get 1 penny.
1 penny. Wow.
So I would think maybe a penny a play would be a little better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I direct people to my official YouTube channel, because you could monetize once you have 1,000
Right.
subscribers.
Exactly.
So I asked everybody to subscribe.
Please. No, it's very true. And I say that all the time as well because we weren't able to stream. Well, actually, we still aren't able to stream on TikTok because you have to have 1,000. And I don't do a lot of TikTok, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. We were talking about doing more of that on YouTube. Yes, you couldn't
Right.
monetize, and everyone's like, "Yes, you can." I'm like, "Nope, you got to get to 1,000," which we finally did. But it's interesting because people do think, "Oh, every time I hear that, they're getting all this money." No, not
Back
true.
in the day, more so.
Oh yeah, we can all go back in the day. I can go back in the day in radio and TV, and the amount of money, I wasn't in it, by the way, but in the amount of money they used to pay morning show hosts and anchors blows me away, right? But that was another time. However, I'm glad to hear you say it's a good thing or it's a double-edged sword here. But it is interesting to see how quickly somebody could put a video out there. They go to bed, they wake up, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I have millions of views."
Justin Bieber is
Yes.
a perfect example.
Absolutely.
He was just some kid out of Canada.
Right.
Blew up.
Well, you know what? So you know who Teddy Swims is?
Yeah.
So Teddy, I saw on Instagram, and I'm like, who is this guy? I'm very big into R&B music, and I'm like, who is this guy? And so I started listening, and he had maybe a couple 100,000 at the time, and I went and saw him in a small little venue in Birmingham, Alabama. My husband's like, who do you want to go see? I was like, just please come with me. Now look at him. I mean, it's amazing, all because he put something out there, was doing a cover of a Journey song. So it is, but I like to ask musicians that have paid their dues and have been around for decades. Some say, well, I don't think it's fair. And I was like, well, but we got to roll with the times, don't we?
Had no choice.
Right.
And it's worldwide.
Right,
As far as Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon. So, because there was, in the States, there was, both sides of the aisle were talking about, we need to get them at least a penny a play. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just one country.
Absolutely.
So it has to be something worldwide that has to be like, come on.
Exactly. Give me a break here. I know my value. So again, if you missed the beginning, The Man You Want Me to Be is the song that just came out on January 1st that Richie played for us, Fly Away. What is your absolute favorite song to play? You have to pick one.
Oh, boy. The most fun song is Crazy Woman.
Crazy Woman.
That has a great video.
Okay.
And a great story, and it's pretty funny. Scary at the time, but I got a great song and a great video out of it.
All right.
Got out with my life.
We find that one on your YouTube channel?
Yes, on the official YouTube channel.
What's the most difficult song you've ever played?
Of mine?
Anything.
Of anything. Oh, boy. We used to cover some really difficult music. Actually, it's to a point now where some of my more progressive songs, I can't do them live until I sit down and work on them for a week.
Sure.
Because, I never thought I'd get to that point, but, out of boredom, sometimes you want to try to do what the Van Halens and all them are doing.
I was waiting to
I would
say
never
Eddie.
attempt what Eddie did, but I could get close.
I think he's one of the most brilliant guitarists ever.
Everything the guy did was phenomenal.
Again, one of those that we wish was still with us.
Yeah.
So if you look at Richie Callison 5 years from now, what are you doing?
Making more records, touring.
Touring.
Yeah.
Okay. Any countries you haven't been to that you want to?
Oh, I'd love to tour a lot in Europe and Asia. So I've been to parts of Europe and then lived in the UK for a while, but never been to Asia. I've got, some friends and fans in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand,
Very cool.
but not enough to warrant, going there and doing it and making it worthwhile.
Did you ever perform and forget where you were? I hear this all the time. They'll be like, thank you, Kansas City. Nope, you're in St. Louis.
I learned early on, looking at the stage.
There you go.
When Queen came to St. Louis when I was a kid, St. Louis, I'm like, I'm going to do that. So I learned a lot from Freddie Mercury that night.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, right? You butcher that when you have all these people coming out to see you and you don't even remember where you're playing. Come on.
Spinal Tap.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Well, we talked about where he wants to be in 5 years, but it's all about also where he's going to be a year from now, where he's going to be next week. A lot of opportunities for you to go and see him, but also to book. So to book you, we can send an email to your friend Barb. So it's BARHER0816 @gmail. Oh, I remembered it. All right, we'll get
got
that
a better
for you.
memory than I do.
We'll put that in the comment section as well. So BARHER0816 @gmail. Reach out. But as we had said before, if you are just tuning in and you didn't hear, some opportunities at the end of this month on January 31st. If you haven't been to Lake Creek Winery, super cool winery in Marthasville. And then in February, he'll be at Cooper's American Pub and Grill, Piccadilly, as well as Night Shift, Sky Music Lounge. If they want a rundown of where you're performing, are you on Facebook and Instagram?
I've got a personal Facebook page, but I also have a music page.
Oh, on Instagram
on
also?
Facebook.
Are you
And
on
then
Instagram?
I'm on Instagram.
Okay. Are you on TikTok?
Barely. Not on TikTok.
No more than 15 seconds. Well, again, thank you for sharing some time with us. I understand, was it back in 2012 that my friend Timmy Zell featured you and your full band on Fox?
Yes. Band in a Box, it was called.
Yeah.
We actually played Crazy Woman.
Oh, did you?
We did it live with my buddies Chad and John. That was the day of our last show before I moved, because we had a show at the Duck Room that night.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it was a busy
I haven't
day.
been there in a long time. It was a busy day. Well, and by the way, I just said his name, and I know a lot of you have been asking to try to have Tim on the show. Tim and I talked about it for the last year and a half before he even ever came out and talked about his diagnosis. But thoughts and prayers going out to our dear friend. He's just an incredible person. Did you have fun with him? Because he's such a good
he's a nice guy. Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, wonderful man. Well, I wish you the best. I'm so glad that Barb introduced us, and excited to follow you and follow your music. Again, follow him on YouTube, subscribe so we can get monetized on YouTube as well. Let's help him out, all right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. And don't go anywhere. We'll have more of The Real Monica Adams Show to come. So there you go. Wasn't that awesome? I loved sitting down with Richie. Loved all the comments coming in. Keep coming in. And there were some questions that came in as well. I directed them to Barb, and I've got the email address I just put into the comments. So if you know a business that would like to bring some good music in, have whoever that is reach out to Barb. And again, look in the comment section for her email. By the way, I just put YouTube up. I know a lot of you like to watch on Facebook, or some of you over on Instagram or X right now, or Rumble, or maybe even Twitch or YouTube. Again, YouTube is where I would like for you to also, and I say in addition to wherever you follow me, also subscribe. And again, you hear the word subscribe. No, it does not mean it costs anything. Just go over to YouTube, type in, like you just saw, The Real Monica Adams, and subscribe to my channel. As well, subscribe to Richie's channel. So yes, it's an opportunity to get monetized for all the work that we do. We're not getting anything from YouTube yet. I do get some stuff from Facebook, which is great. All the work we put into the long shows, the stories, the reels. YouTube, I think, just has some copyright things, and I keep getting strikes. Like somebody else is taking the money for my work, and I'm like, no. So I'm still trying to figure out YouTube. Barb just said, such a good interview. Thank you. I had a great time with them. All right, we do some devotionals. We're going to do it. I thought this one was interesting and kind of fit with what Richie was saying, the temptations in life. So this one, by the way, is too blessed to be stressed. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's Matthew 26, verse 41. Temptation seizes us in its vice grip like a gigantic pterodactyl, swooping in, plucking us out of our safe, warm nest, and then flying away with us. We don't have to helplessly succumb. We can fight back. My foolproof way to escape a temptation attack is to keep prayer lists in a purse, in a journal, in your car, so that when those talons began piercing the skin over that enticing dress or cute hat, I'm prepared, right? Whatever it is, the drink, the drugs. I pull out my prayer list and turn my attention to the needs of others, away from the addiction. My focus shifts off my desires and onto those for whom I desire to be Christ's hands and feet. The wicked pterodactyl releases me, and it works every time. Think about that with temptation. Dear Lord, temptation's a strong force, but your word is stronger. Please help me to avoid temptation. And when I do experience it, please help me to be ready to fight it and to beat it. Amen to that. So this one's from Deborah Cody, by the way, too blessed to be stressed. It says 3-minute devotions for women, but that's when she was saying the purse or, in her car, but it's for all of us, right? Cindy, fun interview. Prayers for Tim. Miss starting my days watching him. I know. Tim and I I think it's been probably 2 years, 3 times he was set up to be on our show, and his hours were just so crazy over Fox. And it was constantly, oh my gosh, Monica, I got to cancel. Let's reschedule it again and again. love to still make that happen. So I always bring up on the screen if there are guests or there are topics that you would like on the show, let me know. Shoot me an email. And there's my email address on the screen. So use that email address for many things, for topics, for guests. If you want to sponsor the show, you want to be a part of a segment, you want a mobile Monica, you want me to help life coach you, personal train you, MC, auctioneer your event, or be your motivational speaker, that's the email address you want to keep on standby. All right, tomorrow morning, I cannot wait for this. Zach Kimball is feverishly editing this one up for us. We're going to feature the Excel Center. And so if I was in front of you all right now, I would say, raise your hand if you've ever heard of the Excel Center. I had not. I want to thank my dear friend, Angie Workmeister, who works there, who said, you have to shine the spotlight on this incredible organization. Okay, let's find out. So sometimes we do the Mobile Monica, and sometimes we go and we sit down and we do this really beautiful piece, like we did with Randy's Rescue Ranch, like we did with Principia, like we did with Trattoria Marcella, like we did with Casa Don Alfonso. Some of the businesses when we were in Fredericksburg, Texas, some of them were live, some of them were edited up. Again, my team does wonderful work. So I can't wait for you to see that tomorrow. I will come on live. We'll do the news in the morning, and then we'll go into the the Excel Center. I'm thinking about what we did with Principia. Kind of similar as far as the education standpoint. So the Excel Center, tomorrow, the Excel Center will be our feature. Then on Friday, we will have Foodie Friday in the Slyman Brothers Kitchen. We'll have Chuck Gillentine, and we will have Chef Chris Maurer from Defiance Ridge Vineyards. Cannot wait to see what we're going to cook up in the kitchen for that one. So yeah, if you've got chefs or restaurant owners, or you're a home chef and you've got a great recipe that you would like for us to feature, same thing, reach out to me at that email address, info@therealmonicaadams.com. I just saw my cousin sign on. Hey, Angela, love you. She said, I love this. Ginny, they do amazing work with the community. Can't wait to see it tomorrow. Okay, I'm glad you know about them. But for all of you that either know or have never heard about them, wait till you see the Excel Center. Okay, I mentioned Mobile Monica's one more time coming up on February 10th. Get your friends, get your family together. When we have these, come on out. Let's have some fun together. Shopping at Apricot Lane Boutique, February 10th, again at 4 p.m. And the location is in that O'Fallon Winghaven area. 3028 Winghaven Boulevard. Cannot wait for you to see the store. It's the only Apricot Lane in our area. So that's coming up. We also have Oak and Front, which is it's an incredible restaurant in Washington, Missouri, literally sitting right there by the train and by the water. You're going to love this one. That one's coming up in May. We're going to do a special Mobile Monica also at Mary Tuttle's in Chesterfield, Missouri, and so many more to come, by the way. So you got to stay tuned. I put these on our website, so you can go to the event calendar. All these new ones I just mentioned, they just came about, so I'll be putting them in. Just always go to therealmonicaadams.com when you want to know where we're going to be out and about in your community. And I'd like to come to your community, by the way. Let's do the Real Monica Adams takeover of your town. Reach out to the chamber, reach out to Visitors Commission in cities and states outside of St. Louis, and we'll start talking to them, and we'll bring the show on the road. All right, until our feature tomorrow at 7 a.m., do me a favor, have a beautiful day. Try to keep a smile on your face. If things go wrong, maybe sit down, get really introspective, start writing in your journal, and start praying to God, and hopefully that will turn around. Make sure you don't sit alone. Try to lean in on people that are there for you, because this is a community that we keep building up. We're here for each other. Trust me on that, because that's the best thing we can do, right? To be kind to one another. God bless you all. I'll see you in the morning.